Good evening and welcome to this session of the live virtual classes conducted by the Board of Studies of Academics of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. In the last session, we were discussing this topic, registration of charges. Before I get into the topic, let me greet some of you who've greeted here. Linga R from the southern region, Navneet Maurya. Hi, sir. How are you? You asked very good questions in the last session. Hope you'll continue to interact from the central region. And Ms. Geeta Udigodra from southern region again. Welcome to all of you out there who are listening to this or seeing this video. Welcome to this session. And Ashleisha again, good sir. Welcome, Mr. Raul. Okay, without much ado, let's go into the topic. Where did we stop last time? In fact, I've already told you what a charge is, what is a fixed charge, what is a floating charge. You know the difference now, I hope. If you are given an example like this, you will know. But basically, a specific charge, a charge on a specific asset, which is identified at the time of creation, is a fixed charge. But a charge on a class of assets, not a specific asset, but a class of assets, which keep changing in the ordinary course of business, with the right of the company to transfer without any objection or without any clearance from the charge holder. We also understood that the person lending the money, the lender, usually a bank or a financier, is a charge holder. The person in whose favor the charge is created is the charge holder. We also saw the consequence of non-registration. Consequence means result or outcome. So the result or outcome of non-registration, we saw the form numbers. There are still char form numbers, AY. Charge CHG1 for particulars of charge other than debentures. That is the basic one. Maximum number that will be CHG1 will be fine. In case of issue of debentures, CHG9. And then for modification and for, when you, for the basic certificate of registration of the charge, first time when you register, the certificate is in CHG2. Whenever you modify the charge, you have to register it, and that is in CHG3. We also saw the consequence of non-registration, which is the charge will become void against the liquidator and other creditors of the company. If you can remember this phrase or this sentence, it will be nice. Reason, if they ask you a specific question, and if you write this sentence, believe me, you get full marks. I mean, maximum marks available because the examiner will be tough. Really, wow, why this guy knows, or this lady knows, or this person knows. Charge will become void. And then you can explain how that happens, etc., etc. Don't write that story about the creditors that I told you. That was meant only to help you to understand. So don't, but still, you can use phrase like long queue because everybody knows that the unsecured creditors are numerous. They are a long queue. Secured creditors are very small, like banks. If you don't, you want to test what I'm saying. When you are auditing or when you are looking at the balance sheet of a company, look at secured loans and look at unsecured loans. You'll find secured loans are very, very few. Most of them will be in the non-current category, non-current liabilities. A few in current liability, like working capital loans, etc. Beyond that, debentures would be non-current liability. Beyond that, you will find the rest of the group is or the current and most of the non-current are unsecured, right? And the operational creditors who have supplied goods, services, the employees themselves are operational creditors. Means their salary, that's a due. So these are all unsecured creditors. Understand? So that's a huge list. So when the charge is not registered, the secured creditor is reduced to the level of an unsecured creditor. See, this PowerPoint, if you try to remember it, it's enough. Yeah. Even if you got a little problem in expressing in English, don't worry. Just remember what I've given here, write it, and you are there. Treat this PowerPoint as a kind of AI. Trust it. and go with it. I have done it for you. Instead of Google Gemini, I have done the work for you. I've taken everything and put it all together and giving it to you. Okay. All you need to do is to understand it, remember it, and go there and write it. That's all. Okay. Now, so these are all we have seen. I don't want to waste your time again. Very important, the due dates. This I already mentioned to you. This is not important. This very important. See, the same symbol is used now, except that here we put 4 dots and this becomes important. Very important. Remember. So, see, a basic question was just to test your awareness. If I ask you, what is the time limit for registration of a charge? Legally, normally, without fine, blah, blah, it is only 30 days. So don't go around saying 120 days because 120 days is the upper limit. And that too, after paying ad valorem fees. So if I ask you a basic question, what is the time limit for registration of a charge created by a company? You should say 30 days of creation. That's all. Sir, I have not done it, sir. I have not registered it in 30 days. Kya karna? Then you get another 30 days. So total 60 days, but the extra 30 days, if you're taking now beyond the original 30 days, if you file, you have to pay additional fees. Usually 3 times, 2 times like that, depending on the days, they have. Seriously, you need not know the fees and all that. Don't worry. That you need not know. But this you should know. 30 days. Beyond that 60 days time, cumulative 60 days. Okay, everybody so gaya, company secretary so gaya, charge holder bhi so gaya. Kyun? Because the charge holder has the right to file. You saw that. The charge holder can himself file the charge. Correct. So he also could have done it by paying additional fee. He could have collected it from the company. He also did not do it. Then the law gives you another 60 days. Meaning what? Further period of 60 days. But no, the fees will not be additional limited fee like 500,000. It will be ad valorem. Meaning it will be based on the value of the charge. Suppose you are borrowing 20 crores. This may be 0.5%. It's huge. That's why I mentioned to you, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs is today a revenue ministry. Of course, it is also a monitoring ministry, but it also maintains the register of companies. It monitors the activities of companies, blah, blah, blah. But at the core of it, it makes money. No doubt about it. Because that's why I also suggest you, even though you might have a company secretary out there, don't entrust everything to him blindly. You just monitor, ask him, hey boss, have you filed the form? What is the due date? Or maybe if you are the CFO or if you are the finance in charge, and the company secretary reports into you, or even if he doesn't, demand as a right that you should get a list of pending forms and due dates, etc. I'm not joking. You are entitled because you are the chief financial officer. You have to manage the cash flow, Baba. So tomorrow if this guy comes to you and says, sir, charge has not been registered, ad valorem fees, sir, 15 lakhs. Where will I go for 15 lakhs? I'm not joking. Some companies, they're surprised by the amount of fee that they have to pay. Sometimes the annual report and the balance sheet, they have to be, you might have seen this in management and administration. I'm sure you did. 30 days and 60 days. So if you don't file it for say 3 years and all, there's a bigger consequence. But if you want to regularize it and you go there and you say, I want to file it for 3 years, 4 years, the fee will be huge. I'm not joking. It will be killing. So my humble request is, with regard to these forms and all due dates, I'm not saying the company secretary won't do it. I'm saying he'll say, if I sent a mail, did not see it like that, he'll ask and wash his hands and go. I tell him, boss, one mail is not enough. I want a clear-cut chart every week. What are all the activities done after a board meeting or after an AGM? What all you have to do? What will be the fee if you paid within the due date? I'll immediately transfer it. You tell me the MCA payment pattern, I pay it. You file that. Okay. So, and this advice is not part of the exam syllabus, but this is part of the overall syllabus of being a successful CFO, being a successful financial controller. Okay, that syllabus is different. That's a very, very practical syllabus. You have to, this is how you learn it from seniors, from those who have gone through it. They will tell you, you have to listen. Suniye, how you do it. Kar dijiye. Okay, now comes the real crux. If you have read the institute material, which I'm sure some of you have, or if you have even read the BARE Act, you will find this statement in it. This is the proviso to section 77(1). See, proviso is a condition. That is, they are giving you the opportunity to file belatedly. They're saying, hey, if you not file it within 30 days, go ahead, file it within another 30 days. Or given next 60 days ad valorem fees. Agreed. Now, you will ask a question. Suppose I pay this fee within 115 days. I registered it on the 115th day. Right? Will my charge be valid from the date of creation? From the date of creation. Answer, normally yes. Normally yes. Normally, if there is no other charge created in the meantime, no other charge registered in the meantime, if this is the only Ek charge here and that is this one, no problem. Your registration, your belated registration will be valid enough to cover from the date of creation. But see, whenever the word but is coming, that's called a provision. So they say, hey, you didn't register it, here, go and register it now. But that's called a provision. But any subsequent registration of a charge shall not prejudice any right acquired in respect of any property before the charge is actually registered. Friends and ladies and gentlemen, I'm quoting directly from the BARE Act. You might even find it in the institute material. Therefore, you need to understand this. Any subsequent registration, subsequent means after, baad, of a charge shall not prejudice. Prejudice means affect. It won't create any bad effect on any right acquired in respect of any property before the charge is actually registered. So you have registered it now. If suppose there is some other charge which was actually registered, that fellow will get priority. One thing, if you register it belatedly, no problem. No problem. You will be secured creditor. I'm choosing you. That person, the charge which was created first, he will be the secured creditor. So security will be there. But if in the meantime, another charge was created and that fellow was smart, he registered within 30 days or maximum 60 days. Whatever it is, he registered. Then that charge will have priority over this. In other words, this belatedly registered charge, I repeat, belatedly registered charge will be second charge, and the earlier registered charge, though created later, will be first charge. So what is the consequence? When the asset is sold, if there is sufficient money for everybody, no problem. But if it is not sufficient to pay both, then the first registered charge will get full. If any leftover, only this will all get. So belated registration may get you security, but it will deny you priority. Normally, charge which is registered first will get priority over charge which is registered later. Subject to in case pari passu. Suppose the first registered charge holder agrees to pari passu in proportionate. But if he is not agreeing, then the second fellow will be only second charge. But see this example, you will understand better. Okay, once I finish this example, I'll come to all your queries. Right? Those of you who want to query pad also, you can come. I am there on query pad, but I don't see any queries on query pad. But if you want, you can come to query pad. Right? Now, Bank A has advanced rupees 1 crore to Akash Limited against the security of the company's land and building at Mulund. So Mulund mein, this company has got huge property. So they have taken a loan for 1 crore. No. I said huge property, I don't know. In Mulund, how can they have huge property here? Maybe it's an apartment where the office is running, something like that, or one floor in a building, right? Something like that, on which they have created a charge of 1 crore. Charge was created by deposit of, see, in Bombay, I don't know if you know, there are offices that are just 200 square feet, 100 square feet. The great Dhirubhai himself worked in a shared office, which was just 50 or 100 square feet. Shared office, meaning he will get the right to use the office only for 2 hours in a day. That is the type of pressure on space in Mumbai. Okay, so having said that, Bank A has advanced rupees 1 crore to Akash Limited against the security of the company's land and building at Mulund. No problem. The charge was created by deposit of title deeds. I've already told you now, the title deeds will be given, then the memorandum of deposit of deed, MODD, will be registered. List the registration of with the sub-registrar. Then you have to register with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. The company did not register the charge within 30 days. Subsequently, the charge was registered on 13th August. 1st June, na? So 30th June, no. 31st July, be no. That means what? 60 days over. Now on 13th August, they are filing. That is within the next 60 days. So the first 30 over, next 30 over. Now we are into the final 60 days at that time. So obviously they have paid ad valorem fees and they have proved sufficient cost. That is, if just like that, by paying fees, you cannot say I have registered. You have to show why there was a delay. Why there is a delay? Corona came as a great benefit for us in that gap. That fated day, 19th February 2018. I forget the day. Somewhere in February or March, 25, I don't know. Fated day when our enlightened Prime Minister told us to stay at home. From that day till 22, many people will give corona. But 22 is the limit. Beyond March 22, if somebody is saying that, he's mad, because even late 21 things became better. 22 was like normal. Back to the old normal. That's all I can say. So the point is, so this fellow delays 2019, so he cannot claim corona also. What can he do? He will maximum say, see, this is the best thing what normally we do. In finance section, definitely there will be a lot of turnover. One fellow would have left. So we will tell, we gave it to that guy for filing. He took the responsibility, but he then quit and ran away. Nobody found out that he has not registered. He didn't hand over charges, something. Or better still, this was given to the someone who fell ill. For 3 months he was ill. Something, sufficient cost. Okay. And then pay that. So now what has happened? Charge registered on 1st June, but was charge created on 1st June, registered on 13th August. In the meantime, Bank B has advanced rupees 2 crore to Akash Limited. See, normally B is second charge. Because they didn't take pari passu. Normally, if A had been registered before B, not even within time, before B, then A would have got first charge, everything. But what has happened is B advanced the loan on 20th June. And that fellow was smart, yeah. He himself must have registered it on 27th June. Real fast work. Maybe he's more efficient. So, which is earlier? The 27th June or 13th August? Obviously, 27th June. So, a charge which is registered earlier. What now come back to this line? A subsequent registration of a charge shall not prejudice any right acquired in respect of any property before the charge is actually registered. So, subsequent registration of the charge is 13th August. Will not prejudice the right of Bank B, which was registered before it was actually registered. So, that was registered on 27th June. Any property before the charge. So, by registering on 27th June, they acquired a right on that property, which is superior to the right acquired in 13th August. Of course, this is the legal principle. But factually, we have to see many things. But by and large, we already saw now, the registration by the Registrar of Companies is it's a conclusive evidence. There's no further need for me to prove. Okay. Subsequently, Akash Limited goes into liquidation. And the property releases only 2 crore. So together, these fellows have lent 1 plus 2, 3 crore. Now only 2. If that had been pari passu, no problem. They would have got in the ratio of 1:2. Correct. But now what has happened? Now bank B will receive its loan back fully, entire to growth. A will not realize anything. I know this sounds very unfair to A. If you are employee of bank A, you will get unhappy. But whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? Company's fault, definitely. Then bank A, what were you doing? It is your interest to protect. Now you understand why I'm saying if you are employed by a private bank, and if you're in charge of this part of the work, see, if you're going to be in treasury or if you're going to be in market or if you're going to be in derivatives, no problem, yeah. But suppose you're in charge of credit, lending, then you are also equally responsible. Now, bank B will receive its loan back fully, but bank A will not. A will not. The subsequent registration of the charge in favor of bank A will not prejudice the right of bank B, which obtained its right before the charge in favor of bank A was actually registered. Thus, bank B gets priority. This is a very important word. A secured creditor has two things. One, security, another, priority. Now, security is regained by belated registration. Security is not there. But priority may or may not be there, depending on whether another charge was registered before this charge was registered. So I will pause here. I'll pause here and go to your queries because you seem to have piled up queries in the chat box. Let me go through it. Correct. Good evening. Good evening. Adil Khan. Okay. Good evening. Okay. Then go Anil ji, welcome and all that. Now, yeah, good. Good. Just remember it. That's all. Yeah, NCA is performing a very good function. No doubt about it. The presence of MCA has made it very tough for fraudulent activities. 77.1 belated is risky. This is what this person did. Exactly. You are right, Mr. Anil. You are right. Sir, I already explained pari passu, bhai. Hello, brother. How many times did I explain pari passu? See, I'll explain again. Pari passu charge. Take this example itself. I'll explain to you. Navneet Moria, pari passu. I've been explaining pari passu charge easily 2 times. Third time I will explain, but all of you, Suniya ji, please listen. What is pari passu? Pari passu means in proportion, with equal footing. Okay, not equally, equal step. That is, if I move 1 step, you will move proportionately 1 step, not equally. Okay, so proportionately, that's what pari passu means. So when there are 2 charge holders holding pari passu charge, if the property is sold, does not fully realize, then only the problem comes. If the property is realizing fully, then both will get full. No problem. Pari passu has no meaning there. But suppose the property, as in our example, in my example, they have lent 3 crores. It realizes only 2 crore. Suppose that had been pari passu, what will happen? They will be sharing this 2 crore in the ratio 1:2. 1:2. 2/3 is to 1/3. Okay, so that's how they'll be sharing in the ratio. So 2 crore into 2/3, 2 crore into 1/3 will be a very odd decimal. You calculate on your own, but that's how they will share it. Okay. 20th March. Super, sir. Thank you. That's what I confused. 19th February. It's 20th March. Why not in 1:2? Because of this provision. Yeah. Because of this provision. But for this provision, pari passu doesn't happen automatically. Mr. Navneet, understand. Pari passu will happen only if the guy who was first got the security, he should give in writing no objection. Only then it will be. Okay. So that is why not. So you have understood pari passu. Kindly confirm, Mr. Navneet Moria, that you have understood pari passu. And in this example, see, even otherwise in this example, bank A would have got the first charge and bank B would have got second charge. No pari passu. Only if bank A agrees to pari passu, bank B will get pari passu. Otherwise, bank B only second charge. But because of this belated registration and the provision of 77 proviso, Bank B gets priority over Bank A. Bank B becomes first charge holder and Bank A becomes second charge holder. What is the difference between proviso and provision? Good question. Provision means section. Suppose section 77 is a provision. Anything that is provided is called a provision. Anything that is provided in the law is called provision. Proviso means exception. See, the problem is this English, same word will have many meanings. So the word provide is used in two meanings here. One meaning is what the law says is called provision. Also, what the law creates as an exception is called proviso. So in the section, they will make certain broad statements. What is a broad statement? In case the charge is not registered within 30 days, it can be registered within another 30 days with payment of additional fee. Then, in case it is not so registered, it can be registered again within another 60 days, but ad valorem fee. All this is general provision. But, so instead of using the word but, suppose they want to use Asan English, they would have simply said but. Instead, they want to use old-fashioned English, so say provided that. So if you take provided that and put but also same meaning. Kintu, but you cannot use it. We use the word provided that. So here the provided that means but. Okay. So same word having two meanings. One is provision. Don't use. When you are using it in the meaning of exception to a general provision, are you able to understand? An exception to a general provision is called proviso. Okay. Sorry, beyond this, if I have to give, I have to go to the etymology of provided that. Provide, the word provide, to give, to make available. And then why it also becomes a condition. Don't worry about it. So for your limited purpose, you remember, if it is generally providing or if it is generally, the law is stating many things, that is called provision. So for example, your friend is telling something which you think is wrong. You can ask him, which provision of law is telling that? Yeah. You tell me, yeah. Which provision is telling? There don't say which provision is telling. You say which provision is telling. Or where is it so provided in the law? But if suppose he says something which is general rule, and you know that there is an exception like this, you say, hey, remember, there is a proviso. There is a condition. Are you aware of that? Oh, is it so? See, this proviso will play great games with you in Income Tax Act. Here, it's not a big deal. If many of you are going to become experts in direct tax, I know your aim is to become 100% extraordinarily brilliant experts in direct tax. Now, there you should become thorough with proviso because the entire law will be in the proviso. Okay, so A Limited created charge on 28 June. That is within 30 days. Sir, you don't say created charge, you say registered charge. Please use the word carefully. Kuldipji, use the word carefully. You say registered the charge. Creation is one thing. Creation was on 1st June. Creation is 1st June. So you have to change your line. So I will change it and answer it. Yes. If A Limited registered the charge on 28th June, it will get priority. 100%. That is the whole point. You have understood the provision. See how now Harivansh Kumar, see how we are using words like this. So Kuldeep has understood the provision of section 77 correctly. Okay. Sir, anything mentioned there? There is nothing mentioned, boss. Navneet, don't keep on fishing. There's nothing in my problem, even giving iota of doubt that it is pari passu. Okay. Bank A should agree pari passu. Hey, come on, yaar. You have a right. Now somebody else is coming and he is acquiring a new right. Now you should give up or he will give up. You have to give up your bigger right. Am I correct? You are having a bigger right. Now you already have it. Only you should give up now. Common sense, Navneet. Common sense. Okay. You can keep on asking questions, but our life should not be only asking questions. Somewhere we should also get into answering. Are you able to understand? So your question is correct. Where there is no even iota of doubt that this is the first charge of Bank A. Later, what happens? Because of belated registration, B gets first charge. Okay. There is nothing called pari. If at all this has to be a pari passu charge, then A has to give its consent. And only B will get. Here, B has not given any consent, etc. See, pari passu charge, I have explained the threadbare. Now also, if anybody is having doubt, what to do? No problem. But I have explained the threadbare. Okay. Threadbare. REP switch. No problem. Now, questions are good. But what happens is, questioning itself should not be my life. That is I have been many people. In my case, I rarely ask questions. This is not to discourage questions. I want questions. But when I attend class now, by and large, I will not ask. But when there's a specific question, I will ask. Especially, I'm now educating myself in another philosophy in India called Vishishtadvaita. So already Advaita I have studied by the grace of God under various Swamijis. Now the point is, when there is a clash between Vishishtadvaita and Ashtadvaita, I'll ask a question, but it will be very specific and to the point. The teacher will know, hey, this guy is asking the question, he knows what he's talking about. Now he is asking one specific question, give an answer. That type of prashna, that type of question, the teacher loves. The teacher loves. But where a student operates from ignorance, then I have to first remove the ignorance and then clarify the doubt. Okay? So that is how it is. First, you know what is paribasu charge. In this example, no paribasu charge. Bank A should normally, as Kuldeepji rightly said, should have got the first charge here. But because of their lethargy, laziness, they have lost the first charge. Whereas Bank B has got first charge. I know this sounds very unfair. Friends, do not expect this type of fairness in law. Law is different. Rather, don't expect logic in law, I say. Don't expect. Or rather, law has a logic, but that is called logic, not logic. Your normal logic won't work in law. But logically, if you think, no, you won't. Because in law, what happens? Provisions are there. Provisos are there. They create exceptions. These exceptions you should know. Later on, in company law, there are easily 50 examples where the general law will speak in one way, then the proviso will change the direction itself. So if your situation, the facts of your case come in the proviso, then you can't apply general provision to you. That's why the institute also will only take this type of areas and ask question whether to check whether student knows the proviso. Actually, it's not proviso, it is proviso. Even I made a mistake. It is proviso. Proviso is from a Latin term. Proviso. But root, it's provide only, but proviso. Okay. Even I have made a mistake here as provisio. It is proviso. Can you see the spelling here? Sorry. Next time, please note the spelling. It's proviso. Okay. Chala. Wonderful. Only one unanswered question is there. Yes, sir. First charge. Okay. Whatever. You have written first charge. What do you mean by that? If you have understood it, I'm happy. Friends, section 80 is nothing but doctrine of constructive notice. Section 80, which says that registration of charge to act as deemed notice of charge is nothing but it's a legalization of doctrine of constructive notice. What does the doctrine of constructive notice say? Any document or paper which is filed with the registrar becomes a public document, meaning everybody can see it. Therefore, anybody who wants to deal with the company shall be deemed to have notice, shall be deemed to have read it. Even though they have not read it, even though they have not seen it, because it has become a public document, they shall be deemed to have read it. Deeming means legal fiction. See, this is why the logic won't work here, because in law we create legal fiction. Lot of legal fiction. That's called deeming provision. There is later on in income tax, when you study, when you come there, you might study definition of income, section 2, subsection 22. In that 222E, 222D and all other. 222E is deemed dividend. One of the famous sections. There is a deeming provision. a loan taken by a person having substantial interest in a company in which the public are not substantially interested will be deemed to be dividend. Even that there's not a dividend, but it will be deemed to be dividend. So once you see the word deeming, remember that the law has created a fiction, legal fiction. And that legal fiction should be opaque. You cannot go beyond. You cannot see. Sometimes we say you can create a hypothetical wife, but you cannot create hypothetical children of that. You can say deeming, but there's only that so far that a deeming provision can go. You cannot keep on deeming 3 levels. It cannot be turtles all the way down. Somewhere you have to stop. Meaning that's, in other words, a deeming provision should be strictly construed. There cannot be assumptions in deeming because already deeming. There cannot be assumptions. Okay. So coming back to the point, the law creates a deeming provision and says once any document is uploaded in the registrar's portal, MCA portal, it is duly registered. That is very important. Sometimes you might upload a faulty document. It may not be registered. Then deeming won't apply. But if it is registered, made available to the public, then it will be deemed to be, everybody will be deemed to be aware. Now, Section 80 specifically says, where any charge is registered under Section 77, any person acquiring such property, asset, undertaking, or part thereof, or any share or interest therein, here they have not told lending now. No, they have told. Because they talk, see how they are telling. A lender will get interest in the immovable property. Are you able to understand? So when you take a property on a lease for more than 12 months and above, you get a limited interest in that immovable property. When you lend money against an immovable property or any property for that matter, you get a limited interest in that. Limited interest because you're not an absolute owner. But your right, the owner's right is subject to clearing your loan. So to that extent, you have an interest in the immovable property. Similarly, if you are a tenant, your right in that immovable property is right of possession. So your right of possession is dictated by the rental agreement. So long as you comply with the rental agreement, pay the rent correctly, the owner's right to own that property, sell it, is subject to your right. Suppose you have a 9 years lease. Okay. Then, but usually even for a 9 years lease, there will be a notice period. So if that notice is given, you have to vacate, etc., etc. See, the entire law of rental income, rental law is based on twisting of these provisions. Believe me when I say that. But by and large, you are a tenant, you are paying the rent, the owner cannot send you out during the lease period. So you have a limited interest in the immovable property. Similarly, a lender has interest in the immovable property. So if any person is interested or wants to acquire any property, undertaking, etc., then his right, he is supposed to have, he shall be deemed to have notice, meaning he is deemed to have seen the MCA portal and thing, even if he has not seen it. So suppose a property is subject to debt. Somebody has lent money against the security. Now, bank A is the lender. They foolishly, I'm sorry, I use the word very, very carefully, foolishly, they don't verify. Thereafter, they lend the money and they find that there is already an existing charge. Now what happens? That charge will get priority now. So they get angry. What can they do? They can only file a suit. What can they file a suit? They have cheated me. They have not told me. The law will say, he need not tell you, Baba. Section 80 is very clear. You should have read it. He has already informed by filing with the MCA. But of course, going beyond that, the company has, because suppose there is an application form and the company's CFO like you or company secretary has filled up the form, director has signed. In that form, there is a question. Is there any other charge against this property? And you consciously put no. That is fraud. But still, it is the duty of the lender or the buyer to verify and see whether there is a charge. Basic duty. Which is why before lending money to any corporate, a bank should do a search of the MCA website. Ideally, you hire a company secretary to do it. He or she will do a search of all the forms filed, the charge register, everything, and they will give a detailed report. Maybe they might charge you something, no problem, but it is worth it. Okay, it is worth it. It will save you from problem later. Okay. Right. Now, thus every person proposing to deal with a company should verify whether the asset has any charge by going through the record of charges maintained under the Office of Registrar of Companies before entering into the transaction. In case he enters into any transaction without making any inquiry and later on suffers loss, he cannot claim the loss from the company. Okay. So this is something that you might remember. Will they ask you a question directly on Section 80? I don't think so. But you can display your knowledge of Section 80 in another context. Or they might even ask you directly. 3-mark question. MPC Bank does not, or MPC or Mr. M lent money to XYZ Limited. Like that, he didn't verify. Later on, he claims that the company has defrauded him. Will he succeed? If you quote Section 80, great. Now, thank you, Downey ji. Thank you. Don't worry. Questions are welcome. Questions are welcome. Just before we go to the next topic, which is satisfaction, it's actually we are going to easily complete this topic today, and we'll have MCQs also for you. And later on, I'll be sending an assignment with some practical questions based on my experience, which you have to answer based on your in-depth knowledge. I hope I can use that word, in-depth knowledge that you have in this chapter. Okay. Now, coming to the point, see, prashna is the Sanskrit word. In English, in Hindi also, I think prashna. Prashna means question. Prashna, there is a Upanishad which is called Prashna Upanishad. Can you imagine? The question Upanishad. That's what it's called. That's query Upanishad. Rather, it's like FAQ. Frequently asked questions. So one Rishi, he realized that students continuously have doubt in the same places when they are in the process of self-realization. All of them get the same question. So he collected a group of highly intelligent students and he told, I'm not going to tell you anything. You ask me questions, I will answer. So they started asking these questions, which are basic questions like they always have. So the teacher starts giving answers one by one. And that whole collection of question and answer becomes Prashna Upanishad. So Prashna is not at all wrong. That is how it should be. Questions are welcome. In fact, in Tamil, there's a famous song by a poet, I think Wali or Vairamuthu, I think. Famous Tamil poet Vairamuthu. Thing is, he has said, Vanam enakoru bodhi maram, naalum adu oru sethi tharum, kelvigalaal velvigale naam seitharum. Vanam, the sky is my bodhi tree. Vanam enakoru bodhi maram. Every day it gives me new information. Naalum adu oru sethi tharum. Every day it gives me new information. And then he concludes by saying, velvigalaal velvigale. Let us perform yajnas with questions. Very beautiful. Let us perform. Though it's in Tamil, I'm translating it in English for you to appreciate it. Let us perform continuously. Let us perform yajna. Let us perform sacrifices with questions. So instead of putting, normally we put rice or sticks, in the fire. Instead, here we are putting questions into the fire of knowledge, and or rather questions into the fire of ignorance, and they get burnt, and we get knowledge. So nothing wrong in questions. Sorry for this elaborate metaphorical explanation, but so please don't ever think I don't want questions. Good questions are always welcome. Mustafa Mister is asking a generic question. Possibly I will answer it later. Okay. Law paper demands continuous reading. So you cannot do last minute preparation for law. Please remember that. You cannot do last minute preparation for law. You have to do continuous reading. And important points you should try to remember. Reading will help you to remember. Short-term memory will be created. There is a degree of memory needed for law paper. Unlike computational paper, where if you know the process, most of you who are good in mathematics will find law difficult, because in mathematics, the logic, if you know, it's enough from point A to point B, if you know. and your handwriting need not be good, you need not have anything. So quickly, if you for you in mathematical, even in something, it will be sort of answered. If the answer is right, so many of you would have got 100 in maths, will find it so difficult in law. Don't worry, because here it is verbal paper where you have to write. So you have to remember. The only way I will remember is by reading. So every day little chunk, every day little chunk. Question is answered, sir. Every day little chunk. Auditing B, you have to. Now, since here, unfortunately, you cannot when you have to complete both the groups before you can join articles, you're losing one big advantage in auditing, which you should make up somehow. Because when we were writing the auditing paper in intermediate, now we had completed 1 year of articles, almost 1 year of articles. Our first eligible attempt will be 9 months later. So 1 year of articles. So that means many of the auditing practice now, we would have gone through it in the office. So if you combine it, it will be easy, but no problem what to do. And by and large, it will be theoretical only. So your standard auditing practices, accounting standards, company law, whatever you're going to study in auditing here would be reflected again in auditing. So there's an overlap there. When you're studying auditors here, remember, same is going to come, the same provisions are going to be studied in auditing also. So overlaps are there, then you need not study in both places. This is the best answer I can give for Mr. Mustafa. Mustafa, Mr. Okay. Thank you, sir. Now, thanks for that kind words, sir. After all, teaching, we are doing it only for, passion and so I love it. When you learn, I win. That's what I told. When you learn, I win. When you pass the exam, the teacher wins. Okay, now we come to the last. A charge is created. After that, it has to be satisfied. What is the meaning of the word satisfaction? Satisfaction means why they use the word satisfaction. Instead, they can use the word payment. Payment. See, after all, A borrows money. A Limited borrowed money. Simply A Limited should pay. Over. Kadam ho gaya. No. That is only one way of satisfaction. There are many methods of satisfaction of a charge. For example, simple. I did it myself. See, I had 2 properties. I had borrowed from the bank. So I told the bank, look here, I will exchange one property for another property. Loan remains. Whatever I borrowed from you remains. Both my properties are equally worth the same or little more. The property I'm now going to give you is worth more. So you take that property, exchange. So the loan remains. The loan is not settled. The documentation is done so that the old property documents are returned and that MODD is removed. So I can deal with that property and the new MODD documents are given. My other property documents are done. So that the property which I had as an investment and I want to dispose, I can get it out. My regular property, which I will never sell, I'll give back. I'll give it to you. And you hold it. So why I'm giving my own personal example, I'm not a company. So only example. Company does it. I have done it for many companies, my clients. Because sometimes, we'll have one property we want to sell. That property on that you would have borrowed. Loan will be very less or whatever. Even if it's not less, what is there? Then I go to the bank and say, look here, he's having another property. Take that, give this. That is also satisfaction. Are you able to understand what I'm saying? Another example, which you have heard it regularly in the newspaper, especially Times of India, you will see this headline. Bank of India takes a haircut. Bank of India takes a haircut from Dubakur Limited. I'm using the Dubakur Limited is a fictional company. Don't ask me whether it's existing. It is not existing. Bank of India is existing. Okay. Or let us use a Damaged Bank Limited takes a haircut from Dubakur Limited. There is no damaged bank. There is no Dubakur Limited. Both are examples. Regularly we see now bank, IOB has taken haircut, Bank of India, Punjab National Bank taking haircut from Nirav Modi. Everybody taking bank haircut. What is haircut? Haircut means I borrow from the bank, then I run the company, I siphon the funds. Nothing in the company. If company goes for insolvency, bank will get nothing. So you go to the bank and tell him, boss, rather even in insolvency proceedings, you can do that. It's part of the resolution process. Haircut is part of resolution process. Financial reconstruction. You can go there and say, boss, I cannot pay you. These are all the assets available now. If you want to go into investigation, do. But if you want money, you tell, I owe you 300 crores. I can't pay you 300 crores. Interest, penal interest, now forget it. I will give you 200 crores or 200 crore, take it. Close the loan. This is also satisfaction. Are you able to understand? This is called remission. The bank will remit the loan. Okay. That is also possible. Bank will do it. Another term they give, instead of calling it haircut, they will call it OTS, one-time settlement. Means what they will say, you come, pay me one time. There will be a bargaining. From 300, they will say 275. Our man will say 150. Bank will go mad. Then they'll go to DRD. Then they'll be hanging around. Every day the bank will realize that the delay is only damaging me. So one fine morning they will go to DRD. They say, sir, we want OTS. So they go for OTS. There are some great consultants who are there who will do this and finally close the deal. And that's a lucrative line for many of you. If you enjoy this type of work, you can be consultant on this. You can advise companies on approaching DRT for OTS and all. So on and so forth. So that is also one type of, so that is why they do not use the word payment. Payment is only one kind. There are so many methods of satisfaction. Okay. So whatever it is, if the asset is released from the charge, when was the charge created? When an asset is offered as a security, charge is created. Now what has happened? The asset has been released from the charge. That's all. Charge ho gaya. Satisfaction, payment. Payment is the best honorable method. But other methods are also there. Satisfaction. Exchanging property is also honorable method. But remission, OTS, it's not such an honorable method. But sometimes even a bank will think like this. See, this fellow is not going to pay me 300 crore. It's better that I get this 200 crore now and reinvest it in a better IRR product than keep it here where every day the IRR is going down. So that makes sense. I mean, sometimes these are all financial decisions. There is no right or wrong in finance. It's only what is good for that moment for the company in the long run. Okay, like that only you have to think. And believe me when I say cash is king. If I can get cash, I'm happier than waiting. In this, especially collection of debtors, collection of debt by a bank, cash is king. The man has money and is willing to pay, take it. Even if you give him a discount, it is okay. Because interest. If you study deep finance, you will understand what I'm saying. Every day delay, you're losing interest. At least if you get the money back, you can reinvest it. And if your internal rate of return in some other loan is better, you go there. You earn. From the next day, you are earning 14%, or 11%. Whereas this guy is putting 3 vertical lines on your forehead. Why be there? Get out of it. Send that guy out. This was a decision taken by a famous bank called Indian Bank. But luckily for them, they had huge security amounts. Even then, they gave OTS. Rather, they didn't waive the principal, but they waived interest and compounding fee and all. Compounding interest and all. Idea was simple. Property is there. Anyway, he has to come and pay. So they pressed him. They got huge funds back. That fund, instead of giving it back into these high-risk business loans, they started putting it into fantastic housing loans. And the housing loan business became really fantastic. I'm not joking. I was very much there. I know what happened at that. Not as an employee, but as an auditor. So the housing loan business grew, and that's 100% secured cash flow. Every month, EMI is going to come in. Again, I can rotate it. So if I lend to about 5 lakh people, and so if my risk is distributed, NPL rate will be far less. Suppose I lend 500 crore each to 5 people, that same money, if I lend to 500 people, my risk is distributed, yeah. And if most of them are salaried corporate employees, especially IT walas, I am safe. Sorry for giving this elaborate explanation, but what I want to do in these lectures is also give you a flavor of how this law operates in the real world. Outside of this classroom, there is a real world. And that real world, this law is applied and how it works. So now we come to the point. As far as law is concerned, Ministry of Corporate Affairs is concerned, was the charge satisfied or paid? Yes. Intimate me. That's all. Why? Because you intimated creation of charge. Same way you have to intimate satisfaction also. If you don't intimate, as far as MCA is concerned, it will be showing as if the charge is there on the property. So therefore, it's like CIBIL. See, you might have paid the credit card amount, but still, unless you go to CIBIL and inform and remove it, now your CIBIL rating will go down. In fact, CIBIL sees all the compliances with various bodies. So it is important for you to intimate satisfaction also. So company shall give intimation to the registrar in form number CHG4. Okay, form number CHG4. 4. We have seen 1, we have seen 9, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we are seeing 4. Okay, 4 is intimation of satisfaction. CHG4. Within 30 days of the payment or satisfaction. Right? Okay, as usual, I have not intimated. Kya karna? See, nobody wants to do it within the due date. Everybody wants extension. Everybody wants. It's okay. If not intimated, and our country also beautiful laws where they allow late comers to enjoy, whereas punctual people will get big. Guy who is on time sometimes even becomes a bakra. If I'll tell you how, maybe later on if you have time, I'll say how a man who was sincere and honest is a bakra, whereas the guy who did something becomes intelligent. If not intimated, the registrar may allow giving of intimation within 300 days on payment of prescribed additional fee. So, see, always they will add this additional fees. Wow, they're typical Baniya attitude here. They want money. You give me money. So, 30 plus 300. Okay, 300 days. No, actually, it is not plus. Your question, before you ask the question, I will answer. 30 days. Beyond that, from the date of creation, 300 days. Sorry, from the date of satisfaction, 300 days. It's pretty long period. The reason is satisfaction is important now. The company should not suffer because of that. So okay. Now, registrar on receipt of intimation will send notice to holder of charge. Because if the company is sending it, how can I trust? When the intimation is by the company, how can I trust? So they will send it to the holder of the charge to show cause within 14 days as to why payment or satisfaction should not be recorded. Show cause. So within 14 days, if no cause is shown, then the charge will be registered. Registrar shall register. But if cause is shown, then the registrar shall record a note and shall inform the company and say, sorry, they have objected, go to them, talk to them, come back. But normally what we do, when we file CHG4, we ensure that the holder of the charge also signs it. We go to the bank, as part of MODD, as part of clearing the loan, we also get their signature in CHG4. It is, friends, today, nothing is physical signature. Kalam nahi hai, kagas nahi hai. It is all online, digital signatures. So we ask them, we fill up the form CHG4, then company director digital signature is applied. Then we request the bank designated officer to affix his digital signature online. He will do it. With that, we will upload the form. That's all. So it's online. So don't think that a physical paper will be signed by him. No. So we will prepare, we means the company secretary will prepare everything, CHG4 form, fill up, like it will have basic details, yeah. Original charge created, what is the amount, what is and how the payment was made, satisfaction, etc. Then we will ask him to, also proof of satisfaction will be there now. There will be a letter from the bank. That letter itself is enough, but still we will ask the holder of the charge to affix his digital signature. If so, then no intimation and all, this part of it won't be there. Straight away, the charge will be registered. Okay, so this is the procedure for satisfaction of charge. Suppose you get a question, discuss the provisions of the Companies Act relating to satisfaction of charge. Then this is what you have to write. This slide ka content, that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. 4 marks, 3.5 marks should. Take it, enjoy. They may not ask you directly the way I said. Direct theory, rarely they ask. Instead, they will say, so-and-so company took a loan from so-and-so bank. Thereafter, on such and such a day, they paid the amount. Okay, advise the company on the procedure to be followed for intimation of satisfaction charge. Now, if you can remember 82, wonderful. Even if you don't remember 8, okay. If you can remember 8 also, wow. See, it's a cumulative. Don't worry. Basic, this content you should know. Basic, this content you should know. Beyond that, section number. Beyond that, rule number. Form number. So, component is. Every component gives you marks. So, know your choice. See, ladies are there now. You are wearing so many jewelry. Na? So, why only one? Why not only one? No, sir. Here also we should have. Oh, hearing. Most also I have, sir. Bangles, sir. Okay. So, are you able to understand? So, why are you doing it to decorate? So, when I'm writing an answer, na, I'm decorating her. I'm giving more and more alankaram. I'm giving more and more beauty to her. Think like that. Your answer becomes a work of art. It is no longer a boring chore. Whatever you do, do it with passion. Why? Because everything you do, you dedicate to the Lord. See, when you're doing puja today, where you cook food now, will you give bad food to the Lord? Will you give bad flowers to the Lord? No, you will give the best to the Lord now. Your entire life is for the Lord. You give the best to Him. How can you give anything less than the best to Him? Whatever you do, He only told you to do. See, Banao, He told. Now, when you are doing that, give Him the best. Think like that. Suddenly you will find He will come and help you to become the best. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara. So once you take the bow and arrow, He comes and drives the chariot for you. Okay? Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhude Dhruvaniti Madhyadam. So believe that. You do the best. He will make it better. But if you yourself say, Chale bhai, what is there in this? Very boring, sir. Then he also will say, okay, this Atma is gone. Even this CA preparation is having so much, not a lack of interest. When he is going to come to me finally, that needs a lot of effort. So here itself he is not able to put effort. How he will put effort there? So he will also say, okay, there is one more person, Srikanth is there. He is putting effort. Let me go there and do for him. He'll come to me. Okay, think like that. I'm sorry if I'm boring you or if I'm giving you unnecessary information, but think like that. Automatically, you will get your passion. So now, let me see if you have any questions. This could be important from the exam point of view. That's why a little more time. Yeah, good question, Navneet. Navneet is asked. I have given the answer before that. Yes, sir. That is, it is not 300 plus 30, 330. It is 30, then 300, meaning another 270 days. Okay, so this is what I thank you, Mr. Kuldeep. Yeah. So, for the kind words, now going on. Power of registrar. This is very, how to put that very, I don't know. So much very I have to put. Very important. They have asked you 3 times in the examination. Try to remember this section number also. Try to remember 83. Okay. See, this is I will give the facts. You will understand it better. See this question. Then you go to that. We'll go to the answer. Actually, that's easier. See, Mr. H acquired a property from PQR Limited, which was mortgaged to ABC Bank. Mortgage means ABC Bank has lent money to PQR Limited against the security of this property. That's property now, which is offered as a security to ABC Bank. Our friend Mr. H is acquiring from PQR Limited. Now, he settled the dues to ABC Bank in full. So satisfaction. Are you able to understand? Fully settled. H has paid fully to PQ, not to PQR Limited, to ABC Bank. Because now PQR Limited need not pay. This is one more method of satisfaction. Have you understood? Instead of the charge holder paying, some other party pays. That's also satisfaction. So long as the loan is paid, the security is released. So, right. And the same was registered to the sub-registrar. So that was done properly. The MODD was done. Thereafter, the property was registered in the name of H. Are you able to understand? So the legal formality under the Registration Act was done. But Neither the company nor ABC Bank. Of course, ABC Bank will not file. Why should they file? Creation of charge, ABC Bank will be interested in filing. But satisfaction, they will say, hey, go file, you know, what is there for me? Yeah, like that. They will go. Though there's no necessity for him to file. But company should have filed now. Company also said, go to hell. Now, who is the affected party? It's it. Because that property is now shown as charged property to ABC Bank. You got it? So it will create a problem. They have not filed the particulars of satisfaction with the jurisdictional registrar of companies. Maybe Mr. H is going to some other bank for borrowing against that property. No, that bank does a search and say, hey, already PQR Limited may have. It's shown as the charge to ABC Bank, yeah. Oh, is it so what to do? Then he goes to PQR Limited, he says, do something. There PQR Limited says, get out. I'm not going to do like that. No, what can H do? Now we are able to understand H's problem. Can Mr. H approach the registrar and seek any relief in this regard? Discuss this matter in the light of provisions of the Companies Act. Now, you want the answer? Yes, answer is here. This is the answer. For that question, Prashna, this is the answer. Okay. So, Uttar, this is the answer. So, the registrar can make, so the registrar has the power under section 83 to make entries with respect to satisfaction and release of charges, even if no intimation has been received by him from the company. Are you able to understand? So, yeah, you should say, Mr. H can approach the registrar of companies under section 83. Under section 83, the registrar has the power to make entries with respect to the satisfaction and release of charges, even if no intimation has been received by him from the company. In case of any registered charge, if evidence is shown to the satisfaction of the registrar that the debt, there's a the here, that the debt has been satisfied in whole or in part. So, but you have to show evidence. Now, H has sufficient evidence now. Am I correct? H has sufficient evidence because he has settled the dues to the ABC Bank. ABC Bank has released the mortgage that has been registered with the sub-registrar. So, all the proof is there. Therefore, sale deed is there, which has been signed by PQR Limited, wherein it will be mentioned that payment was made to ABC Bank. In the sale deed, we will clearly mention the consideration is payable as follows by a DD for whatever 25 crores in favor of ABC Bank Limited. Okay, not fully acknowledged. And in the covenant also they will say the buyer, the seller agrees to release all charges on mortgages and all. So this is actually the failure of the bank. Okay, so failure of PQR Limited. But what to do? So H can go there and we have to prove. So, or the part of the property or undertaking has been released from the charge or has ceased to form part of the company's property or undertaking. So all this can be done. You have to beautifully prepare a covering letter, enclose everything, make an application under section 83 to the registrar. Then the registrar may enter the register of charges a memorandum of satisfaction to that effect. So your answer is only this, Babu. Mr. H is advised to follow the, or Mr. H is advised to approach the registrar under section 83. Then 1, 2, 3. That's all. Full marks. Okay. Now, answer doesn't end here. 2 more slides. Next point. Obviously, before giving this satisfaction memorandum, the registrar will inform the affected parties within 30 days of making the entry in the register of charges. So, just to say, I have entered this, note it like that. In case the registrar enters the memorandum of satisfaction, he shall issue a certificate of registration of satisfaction of charge in form number CHG5. Now, what I would advise is H should file CHG4, basic CHG4, but CHG4 will be signed by the company and the charge holder. Here, H has to sign it and give all the proof. and also make a nice covering letter and go to the registrar's office and inform him. Possibly, see, these are all examples where we can do it. You can do it for a client and charge a fee for this activity. Okay. So then he will issue a certificate in form number CHG5. So we have seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forms and 9. Okay. What I suggest, have a notebook in which you make form numbers. So registration of charges, some points, then last notes, forms 1, 2. When you write, now, this is Mustafa ji, this is another secret I can tell you. When you write, you remember better. What you do, you read once or twice, and then from memory, you write. And then look at the correct answer and correct your answer with red ink. You will never forget it. This I have done many times. First, I will read 2, 3 times. Then I will write. Then obviously I make mistake. I'm not God. Okay. Therefore, I will take the original answer and I will see my written answer. And whatever is the mistake, I will correct it in red. Red ink. Red ink is a very powerful memory technique. What you write in red, you will remember. Red or dark pink. Okay. You will remember. So that mistake you will never forget. You have made that you will never forget. You will never make that mistake again. Since the question was asked as to the techniques, what are techniques I used, I am explaining to you. Now, this is a not important. Still I am trying to cover it. Not important. But still I am covering it. This is a very peculiar situation. If any person obtains an order for the appointment of a receiver or a person to manage the property which is subject to a charge, or if any person appoints such receiver or person under any power contained in any instrument, notice of such appointment shall be given to the company and the registrar. Along, for example, if a receiver is appointed, okay, which is subject to a charge, or if any person appoints a receiver, that person should give notice to the company and the registrar along with the copy of the order or instrument within 30 days from the passing of the order or making of the appointment. Okay, this will be sort of, seriously don't know how to connect this, but where any property is subject to it and owned by a company and the receiver is appointed and then that has to be intimated to the company and the registrar. Okay. Finally, we come to important point, penalty. Penalty be what I suggest. Now, there are 2 ways of doing it. One, have a common page in that notebook. Now, have a common columnar sheet, section wise, and write it. So that when you want to revise now, you can do a quick revision of all the penal provisions. 1. 2, when you write down all the penalties together in one place, how you should prepare now? Section number, particulars, then company, officer in default. Company, officer in default. So under company, you should write company ka under. Sometimes it won't be a single penalty, it will be a range, minimum to maximum. Write that. Sometimes it may not be only fine. Rarely there will be imprisonment also. Write it in red so that you will remember those sections which have imprisonment. And also you should note whether it is fine or imprisonment or fine and imprisonment. But believe me, after the decriminalization in 2020, imprisonment provisions are very less. It is only fine. So no imprisonment for non-compliance with this chapter. Any default in this chapter, the company has to pay 5 lakhs. So if you don't register the charge within whatever days, then you are liable. The company is liable to pay 5 lakhs. An officer in default includes director, CFO, company secretary, all the KMPs, everybody, 50,000. So you have to be very careful. If you become CFO and you are designated as a KMP, key managerial personnel, then you are also an officer in default. You have to be very careful. Okay, 50,000. Try to remember 5 lakhs, 50,000. Multiply by 10. So try to. So this is the same. This is a theory question. This is a practical question. A similar question, this type of question was asked 3 times in the exam. 3 times. That is why that 83 becomes very important. Okay. Please try to remember. Lastly, they say the central government, they've given the power. Central government is a very wide term. So you will want to know, sir, whenever they say central government, should I go all the way to Delhi, sir, ministry? No. That power of the central government under the Companies Act has been distributed. I'm sure by now you are well aware. We have 5 regions in which regional directors are there. They sit in regional headquarters. And in southern region, the headquarters is in Chennai, like that. So the Mumbai, Kolkata man covers northeast also. This is called regional director. So by and large, the powers, under the Companies Act, wherever they use the word central government, they mean regional director, RD. The RD can do it. RD has been given a lot of powers. Earlier, certain powers were with tribunal. Today, fast track mergers between small companies and holding subsidiary and holding company, they can be done by RD himself. The regional director is given the power instead of going to the tribunal, because there is a huge clogging of cases before tribunal. A case takes easily 9 months minimum to decide. Tribunal. And tribunal is supposed to give fast relief. Because the courts are not giving fast relief, we formed NCLT to give quick relief for company cases. We removed from High Court to that bench. We removed and we created tribunals everywhere so that they could take up. But the tribunals themselves are now overwhelmed with cases. And though they are doing their best, no doubt about it, they are doing their best, because see, the dispensation of justice is not easy. You can't have an open and shut policy and say that's it. No, you have to be careful. Therefore, it takes some time. And the procedures are there. You have to comply with that. So therefore, they have given some of these powers, they have given to the RD, the regional director. Remember, almost all central government officers sitting in certain positions have quasi-judicial powers. Quasi-judicial means they are not court, but they have one important duty that is given to a court, which is they have to ensure the preservation of the principles of natural justice. And one of the important principles of natural justice is a reasonable opportunity shall be given. Reasonable opportunity shall be given to the other opposite party. In audi altrum partem, listen to the other party. The other party's view should be fully heard. And the other party should be given a reasonable opportunity of making his case. And after that, you decide he is wrong, you decide. This is jurisprudence, and this is the quasi-judicial role of income tax officers, assistant commissioners, deputy commissioners. Many times while arguing before deputy commissioners and additional commissioners, I have invoked this power. I have told them, sir, I agree. You are a revenue authority. Your duty is to collect taxes. But sir, you are also having a quasi-judicial duty. What do you mean, Srikanth, they will say? Or what do you mean, Mr. Srikanth? Depending on their arrogance, they will say Mr. or without Mr. Then they what do you mean, Mr. Srikanth? So, sir, you are almost a court here. I'm presenting the facts to you. Please don't look at it only from the point of revenue. Look at it from. So, what are you saying? Repeat what you said. Now I'll give my argument again. Now he will hear. Really listen to my argument, and then I will. Oh, so you are saying yes, sir. That is how I have been showing, sir. Please see this document. Okay, you do one thing. You bring all these papers. You give another submission. Okay, sir. So are able to understand representation before a government authority is not just a matter of knowing the sections and law. You should know the jurisprudence also. And you have to invoke it. So nothing wrong. And we do it politely. Do it humbly so that they won't mistake you. Don't do it with arrogance. Do it humbly. They will obey. Once you do humble, they will be worried. Because after all, the person sitting before them is a chartered accountant, member of the Institute of Chartered. That membership to this institute carries with it a great honor. Believe me, the department, the government officials, corporate executives, MDs of companies, they have the highest regard for members of our institute. The minute you say you are a member of our institute, knowledge is presumed, intelligence is presumed. It is also there, but it is presumed first. That is the beauty of it. Whereas a BCom or MCom, however much he is a big shot, no, he has to prove his knowledge. Whereas you and I, just by saying I'm a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, our knowledge is presumed. That is the beauty of the examination process you are going through. And so why I'm giving this, as usual, elaborate example is this regional director also sits in quasi-judicial role sometimes. For example, here in this case, where you remember 120 days over, 120 days over, 300 days over, what do I do? Nothing. You go to the regional director. Able to understand this is the final, what shall I say, opportunity. You, sir, what to do, sir? 120 days over, sir. What to do? 300 days over, satisfaction, not what to do, sir. Then we make an application to the central government for order of rectification of the register of charges, where there was an omission in giving intimation, where there was omission or misstatement of any particulars. It's a genuine misstatement, not you want intentional misstatement, but while mentioning something you mentioned wrongly, the charge was registered wrongly. Now you want to rectify it. You can. But this is more important. Where there's an omission, even though beyond 120 you can go. But that's a long-winded process. You won't. And you'll have to pay the penalty. Hello, you have to pay the penalty. Penalty you have to pay. The penalty cannot disappear. But at least the registered charge will be registered. Belatedly, at least this fellow will get. Even then, go back to my original exam point. Priority cannot be retained. You are at belated charge. Any right over the property obtained before the charge was actually registered, whether within 120 days or beyond 120 days by rectification, whatever. Okay. No, but be careful. The central government, you can't just like that. We are all very busy company. We can't do this. So like that, gone. You being busy. In fact, I'm not joking. I'm not telling you. See, yesterday, I was going to the income tax department with one senior officer from a highly big listed company. They came to me for one issue. I'm trying to help them. But point is, the gentleman is coming to me and saying, sir, we have to get time, sir. Okay, I agree. We need time. I need to study these papers. What reason shall I give? He's saying, you tell him we have our board meeting next week. Sir, your board meeting is of no consequence to the government officers, sir. Not joking. The other day I was with the director exemption and the correspondent of the school had not come. We had gone for exemption certificate. They gave it. The papers were in order. I got it. But courtesy, I went to meet him and he said, what happened to the correspondent? I said, sir, he's gone to meet the collector, sir. Immediately, I said very politely, sir, he's gone to meet collectors. Thinking that any other reason would be frivolous. So he immediately looked at me and said, Shrikant, collector is giving the certificate of exemption. Like that he started and he smiled at me. It was a very friendly question. But the point was made. Look here, I am the director. I am sitting here in my seat. You are telling me about another government official. You go there and get it from him. Don't see, we have to be very, very careful. Then I, of course, after the thing, day before yesterday, I took the correspondent. We spent just about 25-30 minutes chatting to him over a cup of coffee. And came. That's how it is. Okay. Friends, this type of unnecessary stories that I'm telling now, you will remember it. When you are faced with similar situations, you will remember, hey, the fellow told how to deal. Now I will apply that practically and you will win. Because that is how I learned from my father and from my grandfather. By listening. Shravanam. They told me and I listened and I learned and I applied and I improved. So much knowledge is not there in the books. Okay. See, I may not have the luxury of giving these add-ons in another topic like say auditor where we'll be pressed for time. So permit me this indulgence. So the application in form CHG8. So we get one more form here. Oh my God. Imagine you are only remembering the form number. Your company secretary friends have to remember the content also. That is why they become so mad about form numbers. Even at the cost of forgetting the provision of law. Sometimes I remind them, my dear friend, because they are also my students only. From 1992, I have been teaching the Institute of Company Secretaries. So, okay. And so sometimes I tell them, Baba, section is there. Don't forget that. No, sir, this is circular notification. Correct. Circular notification. All are subservient to the act. Read the act. What does the act say? So the application in Form CHG 8 shall be filed by the company or any interested person, and order of rectification shall be made by the central government on such terms and conditions as it deems just and expedient. Okay? The central government may, on an application filed in Form CHG 8, in accordance with Section 87, direct rectification of the omission or misstatement of any particulars in any filing previously recorded with the registrar. Okay. Direct extension of time for satisfaction of charge if such filing is not made within a period of 300 days from the date of such payment or satisfaction. So remember, 83 should be read with 87. Suppose 300 days is over, then 87 also will be involved. Are you able to understand? 83 is power of registrar. But before he can do that under 83, he will ask you to go to the regional director under 87, because 300 days is over now. For that, you have to get extension of time. Then he will expect. So there you have to apply. Where is it said? You have to apply your mind. 83 is 300 days. Up to 300 days, ROC can do it. Beyond 300 days, ROC himself cannot do it. So you have to go under 87. That is why they are using the word filed by the company or any interested person. So anybody can, any interested person, like in our example, Mr. H is an interested person who has acquired the property. Yes, we can go. It's not that the company only should go. Interested person, a charge holder is an interested person. He can go. Okay. That's why they use the word interested person. So rectification or omission law, they can register himself. But satisfaction, they will extend the time. And then the registrar has to again go through the papers and file. So this is a fantastic topic. So we have covered, it's a very small and shall we say, easy topic. I would say, if you understand the basic principles, it is pretty easy. Now, what I'm going to do, the remaining portion of our day, I'm going to correct. Mustafa ji, what you do is you read first thoroughly, then make short notes, then read the notes. Then, best suggestion, do not write without any purpose. Take a question paper, take a question in that topic, take 5 or 6 questions. You write the answer now. You write the answer now. Yeah, Harish ji, I will do it. Just give me 1 minute. I will CHG4 and do. So you write the answer now. And then you see the correct answer from suggested answer only. Guideline answer only. There it will be there now. So what is the institute expecting from you and what you have written? Obviously, the institute will be expecting only legal answer. Suppose whatever you have given in the institute you have written plus more Alankarama, more Jigna work, that's good. But less than that if you write, then, or if you've written something wrongly, correct yourself. Like that, if you keep on preparing topic-wise, then also while doing that, remember one thing, sir, don't go from first topic to last topic. You take the density of questions. See where the density is highest. In those days, we used to do the analysis ourselves. 20 sessions ka question paper we used to analyze topic-wise. Talking about eight subjects in final, 8 subjects I did. 7 subjects in inter, 7 subjects I did. 7 into 20. Read the question paper, analyze it. Like posting in ledger, we will do topic-wise. And then see where maximum. And then analyze it in the order of importance. And say which topic is very important, read that first. Like that. If you do such preparation, it will be logic. Rather than, start from first chapter and go to the last chapter. Of course, in coaching classes, we do like that only because of logic. In coaching class, if I suddenly start, say, for example, here, maximum will be in management and administration, share capital and debenture, management and administration. Can I do that? No. So we start with preliminary and go till end auditors. But still, it makes sense to prepare based on density. Then do this. Suddenly, you'll find you becoming knowledgeable. This process of becoming knowledgeable in the subject cannot happen in one shot. It will happen like it is like the lotus blooming. It will slowly bloom. Suddenly, you'll find you got the Sahasrare Padme. The entire 1,000 petal lotus is open and your knowledge is full. And it may not be full, slightly. and you'll go there and you will write. Okay. What CHG4? Boss, CHG4 is a form. CHG4 is a form. Okay. Like CHG1. So whenever there is a satisfaction, what is meaning satisfaction? Whenever there is a payment or somehow I settle that, then I have to intimate to the registrar. No. So how to intimate to him? Can I write a covering letter? Dear registrar, how are you? How is the wife? And so happens with the loan has been settled there. Therefore, the charge is now satisfied. I do something about it. Can I write like that? No. Instead, there will be a format in which you capture. So they will ask you details of particulars of charge registration, date of creation of charge, all that you'll give. Then another set will be there where details of satisfaction, method of satisfaction, proof of satisfaction enclosed. Are you able to understand? All that will be in that form. That is called form CHG4. Along with that, you have to keep proof of payment, etc., and then upload it. That form will be signed now. In the past, when we were Neanderthals, we used to sign on kagas or kalam na. Abhi nahi. Abhi it is digital signature. So even I have digital signature, and there's a user ID password. I put that. I go there and I say affix. First, I will identify, then say which is the PDF. Once I identify the document, it will go there, and that software will affix my digital signature. So there you will find digitally signed. You might get some documents like that. Nowadays, all income tax notices are digitally signed. We get from the department. Now, they are not signed by the person, by him, but not physically, but digitally. So in the case of CHG4, if only the company is sending with a digital signature, then intimation, etc. But if both are signing the CHG4, then why should I intimate that? He has signed it here. Therefore, I hope you have understood CHG4, sir. See, like CHG1, hai. Similarly, CHG4 is the form, like income tax return and ITR form. And it is a form. That's all. Okay, sir? Hope you have understood. Who will send notice to charge holder? Who? ROC will only send notice. The registrar will send notice to holder of charge. Because he has received now, he signs only company is there. How to believe it? Therefore, he will send it to the charge holder and saying, hey, is this true? That fellow says he is satisfied. Then, in case they object, they will send. If they keep quiet, no cause is shown, the registrar will register and issue satisfaction of charge in form number CHG5. Okay. That is what it is. CHG3 is certificate of modification. That's a certificate. It will be a certificate format. It will be issued by the registrar. CHG3 will be issued by the CHG2 and 3 will be issued by the registrar. So Navneet is trying to chart out all the forms in this query pad. Don't do that. You have your notebook where you say kalam ke kagas mein likh. That is how you do it. Pen on paper, write. Don't lose touch with writing. Handwriting is one thing. Secondly, you will get practice in writing because as of today, this paper is non-proctored. You write it in an exam hall, pen on paper. The time may come when they may give you a proctored online mode where you will be able to do it. Even then, I don't know, they may ask you to write and scan. I seriously don't see how this paper, or else you'll have to type it out, but very dangerous now because copy pasting. So it has to be highly proctored. It cannot be just like that. I'm not able to see how it's going to happen. This is a challenge about virtualization that we are all facing. As of now, it's pen on paper, so be careful. Wonderful. Navneet, as I'm again and again telling, don't put it here. See, some students are extremely enthusiastic, but their enthusiasm should be converted into something else. So have a paper and pen and write it. But what you have done here is of a great service to all our friends who can see the screen. I think they can see. CHG1, creation of charge except debentures. CHG9, creation of charge for debentures. CHG2 is the certificate. It is issued by the registrar. in the case of normal charge. CHG3, modification. And finally, CHG4, intimation. एक दो और दो फॉर्म्स है. What are they? नवनीत जी, और दो है. 5 भी है, 8 भी है. क्या है 5? क्या है 8? 5 is memorandum of satisfaction. Certificate of registration of satisfaction is 5. And the application for this, 83, there is no form. But for rectification, there is a form. 8. Application for rectification, form 8. CHG8. Okay. So, all are given. Very good. Correct. CHG5 is what? Issued by the registrar. But what? Okay. Good show. Good show. Good show. So now, friends, the time now, as I see it, is about 7:35 or 6. Let's have a small break for about 5 minutes to 10 minutes. But we will have multiple choice questions. Difference between 83 and 87, I'll tell you. 83, that's why I gave an example. 83 is a specific situation. You are a person who has acquired a property on which there is a charge. That charge has been satisfied, but the satisfaction has not been intimated by the company or the charge holder. I repeat, a person has acquired a property subject to charge. Such a charge has been fully satisfied, but neither the company nor the banker or the charge holder has given intimation. Now, this fellow who has bought it, what he can do? That is our sad position of our H. Now, H will go to the registrar under section 83 and ask him to register the satisfaction of charge and release of charge. Once the registrar is satisfied, section 83 gives him the power to do this. So, basic difference, my dear friend, 83 is only for satisfaction and release. Only for that. But 84 is a wider general, 87 is a general provision. There is a general intimation that omission to give intimation to the registrar. You have registered a charge. You have created a charge, but not registered it. Omitted to inform. That also you can go under 87. 83 power is with the registrar. 87 power is with central government, which is regional director. Are you able to understand? 83 no form. 87 form CHG8. 87 deals with both creation, modification of charge and satisfaction. 83 only with satisfaction. 87 is available to company, charge holder and any other interested person. But 83 only for people who are interested. Company cannot go under 83. Are you able to understand? Why should it? Because it can also go under 77. Charge holder also can go under 77. I am a total unconnected third party. Only then I need 83. Okay. Whereas 87 is available to all. Okay. So I hope I have given you a clear difference between 83 and 87, Ms. Jaya Munacha. Can you confirm that whether you have understood or not the difference? Then I'll feel happy that with so much effort taken, you have understood. Navneet, your putting is, I want Jaya Munacha to put. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. No, it's a good question. In fact, that gives me a feeling that I should create a small slide giving difference between 83 and 87. So good point. For future reference, I need to prepare a small chart giving difference between 83 and 87. That's a good idea here. What all I know told now, put in columnar form. Why not? It will help us to read. Wonderful, sir. Sir, let's have a small break. Maybe thing. Then after I come back, I will start on multiple choice questions. So be prepared. What all questions are asked in that gap, I will answer when I come back. Sir, small break, sir. Give me 1 minute. Yes, welcome back, my dear friends. Now, what we will do, we will test our knowledge of this topic, right? Since we have a little more time of almost 45 minutes, little less than 45 minutes, I have some questions to ask you. We will cover it today. And once it is over, we will say goodbye. In the meantime, if you have any questions also, you can ask me, right? Let us see. I think we answered 5 questions. Yeah, maybe this question we have not answered. So, there is a question under section 83. Correction can be done by registrar on suo motu basis even without any intimation. Yeah, no. Yeah, he does it. See, it's not correction. Kuldipji, it is not correction. What he does is he registers the satisfaction, right? He registers satisfaction, but he gives an intimation to the interested parties. You remember? And then he waits for 30 days. If no objection is received, he notes the memorandum of satisfaction, and that's it. So suo motu only. It is suo motu. Because basically it's routine. There's no need for any further thing. Also, the company has to make an application in Form 3. Exactly. Yeah, it's not suo motu. That way it is not suo motu. No. See, suo motu meaning is totally different, Kuldeep ji. Suo motu means on his own motion. On his own motion, what he will do? Application has to be made. There's no form for it. It has to be a covering letter to the registrar under 83. Okay, there's no format. You write, and also you enclose your form. What is that? 5 form 4. Why? Because that is important, na? That is needed, na? Instead of the company or the charge holder giving, the purchaser of the property is giving it. Then that will be registered because everything is there. Proof is there. There's no need. But still on the safe side, 30 days intimation and then 30 days waiting period is given. Okay. For this question, I'm finding that our students are giving almost all the alphabets are given except B. So a charge is created on the goodwill of a company. What kind of charge is it? And is it registrable? First of all, is it registrable? Yes, it is registrable. What kind of charge? It cannot be floating now because see, goodwill is a specific asset identified at the time of creation of the charge. So A is the correct answer. But I find people have given A. Anilji, you are given A many times. Some of you are given D in the thinking that it is floating charge. But both of you are clear, it is registrable. That means you still have a doubt on what is fixed charge, what is floating charge. Kana, simple. If it is a specific asset and it is identified at the time of creation, it is fixed. If it is a class of assets which keeps changing in the ordinary course of business, are you able to understand? That's all. So goodwill doesn't change in the ordinary course. One more thing. The asset can be sold without any problem in floating charge. In fixed charge, it cannot be sold. So goodwill cannot be transferred. Once you create a charge on goodwill, it cannot be transferred. You cannot do a slum sale. No, without the charge being removed. Though rarely have we seen charge created on goodwill. But as I already mentioned to you, the charge was created by Kingfisher United Breweries Limited on its brand, trademark, which is Kingfisher. Okay. So that's the correct answer. Beautiful. What is the floating charge? A charge that is not registered with the ROC. Okay. A charge on fixed asset like land or building. No. See, be careful. I'll give you an example to help you understand this. A charge created by a company that is being wound up. A charge on a class of assets present and future that changes from time to time in the ordinary course of business. It's all. See, I have given clear definition. What is giraffe? What is camel? I have clearly distinguished. Now, if you are confusing giraffe with camel, what can I do? Giraffe, long neck. Both have long legs. Both are little normal. They are taller than normal. But that cannot make them identical. Now, this one has long neck. This one also has long neck, but it is bent. Okay. So B. What's the B. Okay. So yes, inshallah. Yes. B. Okay. Moving on. Correct. All of you correct. Now I think you are clear about floating charge and fixed charges. A company creates a charge on its inventory. The instrument creating the charge states that the charge will automatically extend to all future inventory acquired by the company. What kind of charge is this? Wow. I know immediately you're going to give an answer. Yes. Yes, you're right. All of you are right. 8B. My suggestion in future going forward, you put the question number hyphen answer. That way, I will, if you are answering for an earlier question, I will know. Okay, just my humble request. If you can't do it, nothing like it. See, sometimes when I'm going fast, now you might answer for an earlier question. That's all. Friends, you might confuse this. How can you say it is not a pledge? Why it's not a pledge? Because in a pledge, the possession will be with the lender. Are you able to understand? If I'm pledging my gold jewelry with Muthoot, Muthoot will be having my jewelry. I can't wear it when I'm going to some function. I can't wear khada. I can't wear my gold chain and all, nothing. He will be having it. If I want to wear it, I have to pay the loan, take it out. But in a floating charge, I have his possession of the asset with the right to deal with it. Okay, that is the difference between pledge and definitely not a fixed charge, and it's definitely not a specific charge. There is nothing called a specific charge. I have not taught this. Let's see if you can answer based on your knowledge. Because in those days, there was a clear-cut list of charges registrable. Now they made it open. There is a confusion between 9A and 9B. Fantastic. Thank you for accepting to put the question number. There's a bit of a confusion between 9A and 9B. Some are saying 9A, some are saying 9B. Let us see. Friends, you cannot have a doubt about charge on book debts. Why? Because one of the example we gave for floating charge was book debts. Stock in trade, book debts. When we create a charge on stock in trade and book debts, it is in those days, in section 125, there was a clear-cut statement that a charge not being a pledge on any movable goods. But now, such an exemption is not there in the section. But generally, pledge is not registrable under the Companies Act. Because pledges, there's no document. It's physical possession is handed over. Loan is given. Only a ticket is given which entitles you to possession. That's all. Provided it's a bailment. Handing over a possession for a particular purpose. Transfer of possession in specific mobile goods for a particular purpose. I'm going back to your good old contractor. So, see, this is something I'm teaching you. It's not, if you ask me, catch my collar and say, where is it in the section? I cannot show you. Old law, it was there. New law, as usual, our friends have goofed it up. It's not there. But normally, we don't create a pledge on mobile goods. Even when the company is pledging shares, it is not registered under the Companies Act. Okay. Why don't ask me? But Pledge of mobile goods is the correct answer. A. B, you cannot have a doubt because B is 100% floating charge. Hypothecation of mobile assets like car, machinery, 100% floating, fixed charge. Charge on goodwill, intangible asset, fixed charge. Are you able to understand? Registrable. So BCD. So that, see, normally I don't know if you have MCQ questions in the exam, but one easy way I used to handle MCQs was I use a process of elimination there. Neti, na iti. Charge on goodwill, fixed charge, intangible asset, registrable, na. Hypothecation of movable assets, registrable, na. Charge on book debts, floating charge, na. That leaves only pledge of movable goods. Therefore, pledge of movable goods. that way I used to come to conclusion also in MCQs. Okay. What is the purpose of the register of charges maintained by the ROC? Once you finish this, I want to go back to the slides again. I think I missed that slide. Hey, nobody is doing anything in the query pad. Yeah. Everybody is in chat. To record the names of all the company's directors and PM. No. There is a register, but not this. It's maintained by the company. And of course, it is there in the official record of the company in the MCA. When we upload a form, that form will be available, which contains the names of directors in it. To serve as a public record of all registered charges, providing constructive notice to third parties. To serve as a private record of the company's internal audit. No. What nonsense. To keep track of the company's daily financial transactions. That is the cash book, yeah. Or sales and the books of primary entry. No. So the correct answer is B. Superb. 10B. Hypothecation is definitely a charge, ma. See, hypothecation is usually on movable goods, like machinery, motor vehicles, like that. It's called hypothecation. Okay. Friends, I need to show you one slide. I don't know how I missed that slide. It is there in my main slide, but I don't know if it is. I think I hit some slides for revision. Oh my God. See, that is a hidden slide. So sorry. That slide got hidden. My God. I'm very, very sorry. This slide is there. I have sent it to the institute for you to download. This slide is already sent to the institute. What a clear conscience I have. Thanks to the institute now insisting. Because earlier what I used to do, after the class I used to send. Abhi, they have told, no, you send it before. I've sent it. So this is available with you for revision, for doing whatever you want. In that this is hidden. See, this one slide. Okay, because for revision purpose, I hid many slides. This is one of them. So, register of charges is to be maintained by the registrar. The section is 81. It can be inspected by any person on payment of fee. That is why it becomes a public document. It becomes a public document. Also constructive notice. Okay. Also, the company also is required to maintain under section 85. The company also in its office, it's supposed to maintain a register of charges, which is in form number CHG7, one more form. Form number CHG. So all that come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 not come, 7, 8, 9. Okay. No problem. If your form is not discussed, don't worry. It is not important. What it is, don't ask. What is there, remember. Many students, what is there important, they will not bother. They will leave. What is not there, sir? What is that, sir? What is that, sir? What is that, sir? Like that. Yeah. Okay. So CHG, sorry, my mistake. Now I have covered it. So this charge, register of charges maintained by the member without fees, member can inspect without fees. Any member, but any other person, non-member should pay fees. So why will you go to the company boss? You go to the registrar. He is jolly well bound to give you. Okay. So you go to the MCA, and in that portal, the data is there. That is called the register of charges. They don't have any book. It is online. Okay. So that is the concept. Okay. So 81, 85 and CHG 7. So this register of charges only we have now discussed in our question. Okay. And you have all correctly answered answer B. Correct. So moving on. The registrar of companies issues a certificate of registration of charge. What is the legal significance of this certificate? Also, what is the form I want you to give? Of course, you can see and give from your material. What is the form? For registration of a charge, not for modification, registration. Let's see. I want more answers. Just give the correct answer here. C is a beautiful answer. This proves that the company is financially stable. Nothing is a proof of financial stability because financial stability is a moving target. Any decision can affect the financial stability at any time. There's no permanent certificate. This company is financially stable. Even when I certify the balance sheet, I only certify, I do not certify financial stability. That is for you to decide. I only certify that the information given is true and fair and reflects the books of accounts maintained by the company. That's all. Based on that, you decide whether it is financially stable, whether you are willing to accept that it is financially stable. Because if your threshold for debt is high, then okay. But if your threshold is low, then even now less than 1, if you want debt ratio, then like that. Okay. So there are many financially unstable companies, but doing extremely well. Okay, there's nothing wrong. Means their debt to equity is very high. High debt companies are there. There's a company which is called D-Mark, I think. High debt, but heavy, good, extremely highly valued by the market. In fact, that's a bigger theory of mine, that there is an ideal debt to equity ratio in each industry, which maximizes the earnings per share. It's a theory. I have in one MBA program, that was a project done by 2 of my students, and I was the guide. And I gave them this hypothesis. And they did a wonderful research with one industry. They did about 15 companies, and they found that there is an ideal debt to equity ratio. Companies that violated lost. Companies that were not using it were underperforming. Whereas those who were maintaining it were exactly. That is, at that point, the EPS peaked. So the EPS peaked at the correct debt equity ratio. So, sorry, this is unnecessary information, but financial stability. But all of you are given the correct answer, yay, correct. And some of you have also given CHG 5. Actually, no. What is CHG 5? That is satisfaction. Whereas here it is creation of charge, registration of a charge, original charge created. The correct answer given by Ashlesha, CHG 2. CHG 1 is application. CHG 1 is the form by which you intimate the charge for registration. The certificate is given in CHG 2. Okay. See, in the exam, they will not expect you to write. They may ask questions, but if you write, you're getting some additional. But all of you are correct. A is the correct answer. You are right. Who can do that if not CA and all? Don't tell. Even MBAs are doing, but they do it wrongly, whereas CA will do it correctly. That's all. Okay. Because we know exactly we are the best. And we use ratios. I continuously do it for companies where I have invested. And most of the time, I invest in highly financially stable companies where the score is extremely high. But still, I try to look at their current financial stability. I review it once in a year. And I find that they're stable, continue. So that's debt to equity ratio, profitability, consistent profitability, consistent growth in sales, low debt, or ideal debt, as I said, ideal debt equity or low debt equity. If you don't have ideal, at least low is better than high. Okay. And at least your solvency issue is not there. And, good performance ratios and a reasonable ROI. Happy. Financially stable. Five ratios you do correctly. Financial stability you can triangulate and say. By and large. Then if you have doubt, you have to go. So when you're seeing a horoscope, there are about 6 planets we see correctly. If they are all sitting correctly and there's no negativity, 6, 8, 12 are all safe, then by and large that fellow is not going to have any major problem. But if he's asking a specific question, then you have to go specifically and see whether my son will become chartered accountant. Then we have to see how is Mercury, what is he doing? Is he in 10th place? Is he 5th place? Is he 4th place? How is it? Is it strong? Then you have to see. Like that. So any analysis is like that only, sir. It is cumulative. Okay, but it is fun. And more practice gives you more knowledge. One day you cannot attend a certificate course and become a financial analyst. You become a financial, yes, you attend that course to get the knowledge on analyzing companies. Only then you will become a practitioner. Yes, correct. 12. See, sometimes the wordings are my style. Nothing as it was their own choice to register the charge. After all, you only wanted to register. No, like that the company cannot tell. The entire amount of the debt down, you fixed penalty as prescribed by the Companies Act. No. Yes, I'm sure you got it correct. 11C. 11C. That's what that's why I gave elaborate reason. Charge register, that certificate of registration of charge does not give any certificate as to financial stability. It only says this asset is charged, there is available security available to that charge holder. That's no financial stability in the it cannot give. Okay, so 12, absolutely correct. All of you are correct. 12B. I think all of you have given the right answer. 12B. 12B. Anilji, why A? Sorry. 12A or B? A or B? Sir, A. How can it be 11A correct? 12B ba? B na? B. Okay, B. A cannot be an answer. Entire amount to know how you can do. Yeah. B is the correct answer. Those of you who gave anything other than B, please stand corrected or sit. In case you are seated, please be seated, corrected. Okay. When can a company extend the time for charge registration with the ROC after the initial? See, in the entire chapter, NCLT does not come anywhere. Earlier it was NCLT under the old law. Now NCLT nahi hai. Special resolution is an option of the company, but no compulsion. Under the Act, no special resolution. After the initial 30 days, be careful. After the initial 30 days only we are talking. So after the initial 30 days, you got another 30 days. So total 60 days. But you have to pay additional fee. Right? After 60 days also you have not done it, then only add $1. So D is not the right answer. B and A are not relevant. C is the correct answer. Wow! 13C. All of you have given 13C, 13C. Mujahid ji, how ye? Sir, MCQ, they won't ask. See, I have been told to do MCQ in the class. I don't think that way they will test you. Testing. That's why I'm also giving you inputs on how to write answers. Please, I'm giving you both the skills. MCQ also is there. See, we can clear in anything, yeah. When I became Certified Information Systems Auditor, CISA is a multiple choice. But that is not like this. That is practical situations where only practitioner can understand and answer. For all the four will be equally good. Only the expert will know which is correct. So like that, 200 questions. Sorry, 200 questions to be answered in 4 hours. 200 questions to be answered in 4 hours. That is the seesaw. And $200 per one question, $1 in those days. In 2001, it was $1 per question. So if you got it wrong, $1 gone. So I cleared in the first attempt with 96 percentile. Sorry, 79 percentile. You have to get 75 percentile and above. Percentile. All the people who wrote in the world, they will put on a normal curve and then see the norm bar X mean. From the mean, they will see 75 percentile. 75% under the standard normal curve. That 75 plus, if you get only your pass. Your mark should be in the 75th percentile and above. Only then you can pass. So that exam was a multiple choice. So multiple choice also I can answer, not a big deal. That's what I'm having elimination games. Knowledge, of course, core knowledge. First all core knowledge question I'll finish where I know. Then come back to the doubtful fellows and then try to understand. Then or try elimination game like that. And negative marking, minus half mark minus. 50 cents gone if you get it wrong. So you have to be careful. Some of you better leave. So finally I left 10 questions. I didn't reply why. I don't know. And I've tried my juggling games. It's not working. Why take a risk? Leave it and save. Let us say, man, to 90, I'm getting some wrong. Finally, that's what I got 79%. Sorry, again, I'm giving you unnecessary information, but think about it. If you know the subject, the method of testing will not change your ability, change your outcome. Yes. C is the correct answer. All of you have done correctly. 30 marks MCQ, 100. You see, I'm going to give you these MCQs now. Within this only the question should come here. Or variation. Minor variation. Fantastic. Thank you, Mujahid. If a company creates a charge on assets situated outside India, what is the time limit for its registration with ROC? Be careful, be careful, be careful. (14C), 14D. See, what is the extra situation here? I taught this to you, so you cannot say I didn't teach you. I taught. The problem is the registration is happening abroad. So the instrument of creating the charge may not come to India within the proper time, within even 30 days. So they tell you within 30 days from the date on which the instrument creating the charge is received in India. Yes, Mr. Anil gives the right answer, A. Mujahid also gives the right answer, A. Great, sir. Linga gives the right answer, A. Yes, Harva, all of you. Sorry, I gave the answer, but then also I'll agree. Maybe you put it up earlier and it's coming now. So, sorry. So those of you who gave D, absolutely wrong. If you've given C also, please remember that creation of charge, no. Normal charge of a property in India, C is correct. But if it's outside India, then A. This was taught, but maybe I didn't stress it. Which form is used for the registration? There is not a... See, like this in MCQ, they may ask you, Baba. That is why I am giving you form numbers, Maha. You are getting angry with me if I give form numbers, but what to do? Okay. Form INC 22 immediately eliminate because this is not in this chapter itself. You saw charge, right? The minute you see charge, immediately you remember it should be CHG. So only the CHG fellows, sorry, I given the answer. So CHG fellows, INC out, then CHG9 debentures, CHG4, what is it? Okay. Modification, certificate. So one is the correct answer. Okay. Let's see how many of you have given the correct answer, C. Correct. 15C, C. Sir, instrument means document, sir. The word instrument means any document which creates or confers any rights and duties is an instrument. Sir. Instrument is basically a document. It's a legal document. A legal document, sir, which creates certain rights and certain duties. So in that sense, a negotiable instrument is an instrument, sir. It creates rights and duties on behalf of the drawer, the drawee, the payee. Everybody has certain rights. And so an instrument which evidences, creates and evidences certain rights and duties. That document is an instrument. Simple instrument. Maybe when you come to General Clauses Act, you will read the definition of deed, document. In document, you'll find instrument also. Therefore, that's why in certain agreements and all, we'll see now, therefore, this instrument witnesseth as follows. So it may lease agreement like that. For satisfaction, correct. My mistake. 3 is modification, correct. 4 is satisfaction. Application. You're really great. If a charge is registered after the initial 30-day period, but within the extended period, what is the effect on the charge's validity? Actually, D is also a correct answer, but because of the proviso, we have to be careful. See, 16D will be a, sometimes even institute material, they may give D. See, D is not wrong. I'll tell you why D can be correct in certain situations. Suppose some other charge is not registered in the meantime. Friends, सिर्फ एक ही charge है, no other charge was created or registered. You got it belatedly registered. Then D, it is from creation. But if in the meantime, a charge has been created and a right has been obtained in the animal property, this belatedly registered charge will get its validity only from the date of registration, not from the date of creation. So, humbly suggest that A should be the correct answer. But if you still feel D, I will not say no. Be careful. Be careful. See, if you are highly standing for D, I have absolutely no problem, G. But why I am not giving D? Because suppose there is another charge, then this D is not valid. It will be from. So better safely say that from the date of registration with the ROC, not from the date of. Okay. So, see, if you are saying D, then you are ignoring the proviso. That's all I will say. So if you are conveniently ignoring the proviso, that is your problem. But I know your dilemma, Anil. You are asking me a different question, which is a blunt question. Sir, in the exam, I should say A or D. What to do, sir? But believe me, if at all a paper setter gives D as the right answer, there will be a vigorous argument amongst the paper characters and examiner, chief examiner. Like somebody like me may be there who's saying, sir, how can it be D, sir? Look at the proviso. Then there will be a very learned intellectual argument amongst the paper characters. And finally, the chief examiner will say, give marks for both the guys here. A also give marks, B also give marks. So that is also possible. So don't worry. Correct, Ma. There is no information about second charge. But even if that is not so, proviso is there now. That is so. Okay. And this is not an example. Suppose they are given an example where there is no information about second charge, your answer will be right. But this is a general question. Okay, no problem. See what to do. This is an area. Even as I was setting this question and choosing the answer, I had doubt. What to do? If Anil comes and asks how to reply, I have given my best reply. Okay. Not Anil, any student, boss, any intelligent student, I respect him and I think about him, what he will ask, and I have to answer him. But if after that he doesn't accept my answer, no problem. There is no professional, yeah. You can have your opinion, I can have my opinion. And I'm giving you the reason also. It is not that I'm saying I am telling, therefore it is right. I am not some messiah who can decide for you. No, I am an ordinary man who is reading the law and interpreting and giving my view. Last question. What is the penalty for a company's failure to register under Section 86? Penalty is under 86. Registration is under 77. Sorry for the English. Sorry for English. These are all problem in English. What is the penalty for a company's failure to register a charge under Section 86? Under Section 77. What is the penalty under Section 86 for a company's failure to register a charge under Section 77? That will be the more accurate sentence. None of them is correct. Huh? Actually, none of them is correct. Kuldeep Nagar is correct. Sorry, I'll correct this answer and send it. What I will do, I will correct this and send it. Actually, none of them is correct. Let us check, because I don't want you to go home with a confusion. None of them is correct. Actually, the correct answer is 5 lakhs. Kuldeep is correct. Sorry, my mistake, my bad. 5 lakhs is correct. 5 lakhs is the correct answer. Okay, so my bad. Let's see how many of you wrote 5 lakhs. Exactly, you're all right. 5 lakhs is the correct answer. I will correct the slide to include 5 lakhs and make that as the correct answer, and I will send it. Okay, so you can say that this is a test of tests. I give you a wrong answer to check whether you know. So it's joking, it's my mistake. That is great. A student who can find out a wrong. See, suppose you find a mistake in the question, nothing wrong in politely mentioning it in your answer. That there could be a doubt on this one. That's why, between MCQ and written answer, you should prefer written answer. In written answer, you can write your opinion, your assumption, etc., etc. Fantastic, sir. I hope you had a good learning experience, and I would like to sort of at this stage close the session, but and wish you all the very best, and look forward to the next class when we will take up dividend declaration and payment of dividend. Thank you. Bye. So I will be closing. Good night. Bye. Oh yeah. Thank you, sir.